Hello, I'm Doug Simpson, co-owner of Feathercraft Kayaks. Our location here on Granville Island in the middle of Vancouver allows us to step right outside our door and visit some spectacular scenery. We enjoy paddling these kayaks as well as constructing them. This video will help you to put together your kayak for the first time. We suggest also that you use the written instructions. We're sure you're going to enjoy putting together your kayak, so let's begin now. On this video, we're going to be assembling the K1C kayak. It comes in a standard bag such as this. It has padded shoulder straps and a 2-inch wide hip belt. As an option, the boat can be had in this bag, which has a complete mountaineering style suspension system with ladder lock adjustment for people of different heights and a removable, quite comfortable hip belt. In this pack here, the coaming, the fiberglass coaming fits into the bag at the beginning and actually forms an internal frame. Today we're going to be assembling the boat in this bag, so I'll set this one aside and open up this bag. I've taken all the pieces out of the bag now. It's helpful when you do to look at the order that they were put in originally so that when you repack the boat you'll have an easy time of it. In this bag are almost all of the longitudinal tubes, the aluminum tubes. Let's just pull them out. Notice that I can fold this bag down and there are little straps on the back. These can be shoulder straps and you can use this bag as a day pack. Most of the pieces of the kayak are shock corded together. You can see on this particular bar there are 2 stripes of blue. That indicates to me that it's a stern piece because all stern pieces have 2 and all bow pieces, such as this one, have 1 stripe of color. So I'll put this one on my left. We'll make that the bow side. I've laid out all my frame pieces now on the table in a nice neat order that will help me arrange things as I construct the kayak. Starting off, I open up the welded cockpit structure here with the colors facing up to the bow. Slide this over with just my fingers. This is the welded cross deck bar. Orient the colors towards the bow and slip on the aluminum bars. These bars are all 6061 T6 alloy. This alloy has been used extensively in the aircraft industry and the marine industry. In fact, it's replaced wood in most instances in the marine environment. The cross ribs are made of white high-density polyethylene plastic. These are almost unbreakable, and each cross rib has a number. This is number 2, number 1, and so on towards the stern. I'm going to start with the number 2 here and put on the keel and turn the spacer bar into the cross piece. Then I'll go to the 2 chines, and as I do, I'll swing the foot pedal up so it's about 45 degrees to the angle of the keel so that my feet can hit it well. Now the 2 gunnels. This is the number 1. I'll put it on the keel, bow. At this point, I take this 3-sectional piece that I haven't on. A very large stainless steel pin coming out of it. There's a groove in the plate here, and these 2 pieces will go into the groove. As I'm looking towards the end, this is my left side. My left side goes above my right side. I put them through, and then I slide the stainless steel pin into the hole. Come back to this cross rib and just make sure that it's lined up just in front of the white spacers that are on the gunnel pieces. Now I'll go down to the chines do the same thing and push it through. Connect first this one, and then in order to connect this one, bring the shock cord down and forward. At this point, it's a good time to remember to put on the bow sling. The bow sling fits into the compartment where your feet are, and it keeps your feet off the skin. These are quick release buckles, and you just wrap them around the cross rib here and the welded cockpit, as you see. They're adjustable. You can tauten it up. Now we can go to the stern section. Start with number 4 cross rib, and we'll just put it into place as we've done it on the bow section, only now we're operating without the welded cockpit. Let's attach them all. This is done in the same way as the bow, and as I'm facing towards that end, the left side is going above the right side. I take this 2-part piece, which is the stern deck bar, and put that through the hole. And I return to here, make sure that this number 5 cross rib is in position, and then I attach the 2 chines and slide the bar down. Stern section is now complete. We're ready at this point to put the 2 frame sections into the skin of the kayak. At this point I'll unroll the skin. The stern has attachment for the rudder and this V block and the cables. The bow has a Feathercraft logo on it. To put the frame in the skin, note that there are some foam blocks running along the inside keel of the skin, and as I put the frame in, I make sure that the keel bar goes in between these blocks. This keeps the whole frame centered within the skin. You can actually use the little hatch here to check whether or not it's centered. I can feel that it hasn't quite, but now I've got it over and it's centered properly. I can do the same now with the stern section. At this point, I'll take the rudder bracket out of the repair kit bag and attach that. It's important to remember this, to do it before we stretch the skin. It's a lot easier this way. This rudder bracket holds the rudder, and it just slips over the stern end here and into this loop that's glued onto the bottom of the hull. And then this bar, this tongue as we call it, slips over the top. We'll just leave that on for a while and we'll return to the rudder after. The next step is that normally we would be doing this with the skin over the frame of the kayak. First I attach the end with the welded cockpit and then the stern section. These 2 bars are used as levers. They're actually stern deck bars, but right now we'll use them as our lever bars. I pull until the first hole has a spring button pop up in it. Now let's try the chine ones. Notice that I pull this bar in order to make it easier for me to slide the bar in place. And the blue one. I'm still matching colors to the colors that are on this cockpit. I'll take my lever bars and extend them. This makes the skin quite taut. I should return now to the keel section, press the button down, and extend this until it pops up in the second hole. Notice that when I'm doing this, I'm putting this bar against a little groove that's in the block here. I never put it against this one, always against the sternmost of the plastic blocks. At this point, I should get the seat sling. The seat sling at the top has two large loops, and the underside has Velcro. The bow of the seat sling is wider at the stitching than is the stern part, which is here. Feed these extension bars into the seat sling. And slide, as you see it, over. I'll do that on this side now. Now I can attach the other sides. And I'll lever it into place. Quite often you don't need to lever them into place if there's not too much tension on the gunnels. Slide this back a little bit. This time I can attach this piece. This is the largest of the white plastic cross pieces. Remember that there's a hole here where the combing will be, and I bring it in and swing this around until it's above the red gunnel bar, and then I just push straight down and it'll snap into position. There's a pin extending out towards the stern on these cross pieces, and I reach in and I just turn this bar a little bit until it aligns with that pin, and now I swing this around and it locks in place. I'll repeat that with these other bars. Now I can return to the seat sling, slide it back towards the cross rib, and I reach down and put the Velcro into place, making a Velcro sandwich on each side. At this point, I think it would be easier to return to where we have the skin with the frame in it, and we'll complete the rest of the kayak. At this point, once you've installed the cross piece here and the seat sling, this is what it'll look like. And it's time now to install the fiberglass combing. Just set it over and start with the bow or the stern, one of the two ends. There's a rubber strip sewn into the skin. There's a groove in the combing. Just put the rubber strip into the groove and on the stern section. There's a bracket. We'll just slide that over top and then keep feeding the groove. Just near the middle at the stern here, there's a piece of tape. It's helpful to leave that up so that when you're pulling it off and taking the combing off, you'll find it a lot easier. Once I've finished attaching the combing, it's time to put in the two stern deck bars. These bars were what we were using as extension bars, but they're actually fit back here. Short one first. Put it over the cross rib that's just below my hands. Feel under the deck and attach the two bars. Just slide it back. This one feeds in from the hatch end here. You'll see there's a hole. Keep that up. This screw will eventually screw into that hole. So we'll put this one in. And then back. I can screw this down now, making sure that when I screw it down, it goes into the hole in the deck bar. The bow is done just the same. I just look down and make sure that it's going through. I might point out that when you're loading the kayak, it's very easy to get access to this hatch just by unscrewing this and moving it forward. There are two plastic hatch rims now to be installed. Large one for the stern, small one for the bow. Let's start with the stern. It's narrower at the end, which of course is towards the end of the boat, in this case the stern. There's a shock-corded skirt rim that goes around the plastic hatch. Start at the bow end of the stern hatch and just pull it around and then work your way back here. Next I'll put in the stern sleeves. We fold it down. Paddle rescue, which is okay, push. Can I go around? Yeah, the valve is getting back. The valve's getting in. No worse for wear, it looks like. Now valve will race. Come on over here a little bit, Mark. Well, there he gets into the kayak. Mark, come towards me. I'm getting lost here. Okay. Larry, why don't you paddle out of the way a little bit? That's great. He's putting the paddle now under the cord, alongside the perimeter of the kayak. What's that? And then there's that strap that he'll be putting it under. That's good. I'm going to straddle the stern of the boat now. Put my leg over top and pull myself in. This is a very fast way of getting back in. We really recommend it. Now I can pump out.